Are you a private practice owner looking to get new patient leads on autopilot, freeing up your time to do the things in life you really want to do? I'm Christine Walker, and on this podcast, I share how I've grown my own practice and hundreds of others by generating patients on demand, getting business owners out of the treatment room, taking better care of themselves, and spending more time with their families. If you'd like to chat about how we can get you new patients on autopilot from your website, then visit freewebsitecall.com. But for now, let's dive into today's episode.
What's up, everybody? Christine here. Good morning. Good week. Hello to you. I sound like it's first thing in the morning because it is. And I just wanted to get this podcast out for you before Saturday. I guess when you listen to this, I will be enjoying my favorite vacation of the year. It's an annual tradition. We do the same thing every year. It involves the beach. It involves food. It involves wine. And to be honest, it is the one time of the year that I don't think about business. To be blatantly honest, I think about business. I think about how we can help people more. I think about what moves we need to make. I just love diving deeper into this world we're in of helping other PTs. And I think about it a lot. In fact, it's a little bit of a problem sometimes. It can be distracting and something I have to be really aware of. So I've been better this last 6 months about setting boundaries. But let me tell you, no matter how obsessed, I guess you could say, how much I've really enjoyed it, not like obsessed in a bad way, but like I just love working on the business for our clients, coming up with new ideas, how to help them more. This 1 week when I go to the beach, I shut it all off. I have no desire. You could convince me that I am no longer a business owner because it is the one time I seem to be able to let my brain just completely go. And I tell my team, they're calling me only if the house is burning down sort of message. And you know what? Every year they do a remarkable job and allow me to have this 1 week. And it's fantastic. So I sound a little hoarse this morning. I'm preparing for all that, squeezing in all the things you want to do before you literally shut off for a week. So apologies. I really hope, this is totally an aside, but I really hope that you guys, you practice owners that are listening, really hope you have something like that, either in your year, in your day, in your week. You probably need a little bit in every aspect of where you just shut off. I think I'm learning the more and more that I grow in this business, that it becomes more complicated, that more people are hired, that more decisions have to be made, bigger decisions have to be made, and they have to be made faster than when you were starting. The more I realize how important it is to have times when your brain can just shut down and rest and refresh and not be in business mode all the time. And one of the reasons next week makes me feel so excited is because I know the week after I will come back kicking and roaring and screaming and so excited. Okay, that sounds really dramatic. But I will come back with such clarity of thought. I will come back with a new way to look at things. I will come back with just different perspectives because I finally got away from the situation. You know how it's so much easier for other people to point out your weaknesses or where you might be wrong because they have a distance, they have a perspective, they're not in the weeds. They're not getting hung up over points that maybe you shouldn't be or I shouldn't be. They're able to separate themselves from the situation more so emotionally as well. And, that's why having other people in your life, if you listened to last week's episode about why I've been in masterminds for so long and why I continue to do so despite success, it's for that reason, right? You need other people who can speak into you and who aren't in the weeds and can see things more clearly. But I find a way for you to personally reset this is one, absolutely necessary. You've got to do that as well. You've got to be able to personally reset, step back, get out of the day-to-day and be able to look at the bigger picture. And even just beyond that, get out of your current thought pattern that you've been going down over and over and instead think about your problems, your things you need solved, big decisions you need to make in an entirely different way. So this is why the beach trip excites me, is because I know I'll come back with that refreshed perspective. I know that any trains of thought that I just kept coming up with the same answers on, I'll start coming up with new answers and new ideas just from getting away and just from shutting down. But if I go next week and I just work the whole time, sure, will it look like I'm getting more done? Will I feel like I'm getting more done? Yes, but I'm going to come back in the same state, the same habits, the same results, which is not good. That's not what the business needs. The business needs some injection of fresh new ideas, new ways of coming up with solutions. It's just not going to work if I continue the same route I've been going. Like, nothing's going to innovate, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to grow. And it's really taking that time for yourself. Whether that's, and I would argue it's not just a vacation. So if you can't go on vacation right now, all is not lost. You still have other options. But it is about how can you add into your life. I still do recommend vacations at some point. I know some business owners who haven't taken them in years because they're too afraid. Well, if that's you, like, that's got to stop. That is a whole entire another problem. You got to go sort out. Why are you so afraid? What is holding you back? What's the worst that could happen? Why don't you try just even a couple days off and see if the whole world's still like in one piece? See if your business is actually in one piece. And if you know it's not going to be, then maybe you've got the wrong people on your staff. If they can't take over, maybe you haven't been able to delegate enough. So if you can't even take like a long weekend, we've got a problem. But you should be able to, even if you're just a starting business owner, take a week off at least once a year. I do it multiple weeks a year, but at least once a year. And I've done that ever since I started my business. But even if you can't do that, even if you can't do a week, there are other ways you can still infuse this. Like, and I actually do this on a daily basis as well, where I will go take a walk. Half the time I'll take it alone. Half the time I'll go with my husband. We do this about late morning, about 10:30 every day. So we go take a walk, and if I take a walk, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not listening to podcasts. I'm not chatting on the phone. I actually create that as silence, as room for my brain to just rest a bit. Now, that doesn't mean I don't ever think about things, but it's just a time of clarity where I can reset, get my blood flowing, wake my muscles up. I've been already sitting at my desk for a couple hours, and just re-energize me to give me a boot to get through the rest of the day. It also gives me that different perspective, right? I'm resetting my brain, allowing it to have a moment to try to break whatever thought patterns it's been in and come back and look at things afresh. So I do this on a daily basis as well. And I can tell you the days where something goes crazy, like this week, where I'm like trying to shove in and be available for all of these people before I go out of town for a week, for all of these prospective clients who want to work with us. Like, I'm feeling it those days. I am feeling it. I am getting tired earlier because I'm not taking my walk. My brain's more fried because I'm not giving it the space it needs to relax. And it's been harder to do things later in the day that I need to get done. And looking back on this week, I'm like, this can't happen again, even if I'm going out of town. Like, you can't just fill up all the space. It doesn't work. So, we all need these reminders, which is why I'm sharing this with you this week. So I do this on a daily basis through a walk. Now, it could be anything for you. It could be a meditation. It could be, just I'm trying to think. I don't know. It could just be sitting down and having, a glass of water for 30 minutes and just being. It could be, going outside and just walking your dog or throwing ball to them. It could be anything. Like, you come up with what works best for you, but it's got to be something that allows your mind to truly veg out almost. And it's something I encourage you, even if you can only veg out for 5 minutes right now before it drives you crazy, to start doing. So that's how I do that daily. Now, on a weekly basis, how do I do it? I don't work the weekends. I started this about 6 months ago, and it's been a game changer. Allow myself to work what I need to during the week. I try not to work too much at night now that my daughter's not at gymnastics because hers has moved to the day during the summer. But, in the fall and spring, I do allow myself to work at night because she's usually gone until about 8. But that being said, I get as much time as I can during the week, and then I'm off for the weekend. And that's when I go engage with my family at a higher level and go do other things to get my mind off things, go enjoy, go laugh, interact with other people and friends and family, go run around with my dog, my chickens in the backyard, right? If you guys have heard some of the episodes where my chickens are actually in the background. And no, I don't live on a farm. I live in suburban Charlotte. It's just, we have pet chickens. So these are the things that I do on a weekly basis. For me, it's shutting down, on the weekend. For you, it might be shutting down at night at 5 or something. Like you just have a hard stop during the week and then, have hard stops on the weekend too. Whatever it is, these brain breaks are what's going to make you a better business owner. These brain breaks are what's going to allow you to grow faster because then you can really reset the path you're on. We know, everybody's favorite quote, right, is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result. Thank you, Albert Einstein, I believe, for that, truth. You'll hear it thrown around all the time, but it is true. So how do we break the mold, break the pattern? How do we get you as a person to grow and change? How do we keep your mind sharp, right? Even all these athletes were preparing for the Olympics. They weren't training at max level for the last 4 years for their peak moment, right? We know our body, our brain can't go at 1,000% all the time and then have a successful outcome. So where can you get more time out of your day, your schedule, your year, your life, so that your brain can turn off a little from business for the full purpose of you doing more with the business, you being able to make better decisions faster, you being able to be better present for your employees, you being able to see problems and start doing things about them before they're literally pounding you into the ground. For some of you, for a lot of you, that's probably going to come down to you're doing too much and you're not giving enough to your employees or you're not outsourcing enough. That's what I realized because all of us, when we first started our business, our superpower of being able to take the initiative, to do everything, to be willing to do anything is what got us started. And the problem is that same attitude is not going to be what takes us from a few employees to multiple locations with even more employees. That sort of thinking and attitude and I can do it all and I do it best, so I'm going to do it is going to hold you back. And so a lot of people get stuck, with just a couple employees and it's hard and it's not working out great before and they have to get over that hump of, okay, now I've got more like 5 to 10. I'm freeing up my time more to make better decisions, to think properly, etc. So for a lot of people, they don't have this time. They can't go off for a week or a long weekend or even take 30 minutes in their day to have a walk because they have a who problem, as one of my business coaches likes to say. You got a who problem. Well, gosh, I'm going to go on another tangent. You may not have just a who problem. You either have a who problem, a process problem, or an automation problem. You got a problem though. Let's just agree on that. But for a lot of you guys, you're holding on to too much. And it either that extra stuff so that you have that time in the day or that time in the year to actually go on vacation is we need to hire somebody, we need to create a process around something, or we need to automate something. So if you're in that position right now, what I find, and I was talking to a few business owners this week, is, I've talked to one this week that's, five locations, mind you, 5 locations. And he's still doing his website on his own. And he called me and he's like, help. My new location isn't even on the website because this is getting beyond me. I've never done anything with SEO. I'm dependent on a lot of word of mouth referrals, which is great. Our word of mouth is fantastic. We've been able to expand to 5 clinics off this, that and referrals from other providers. But the 5th clinic location's now open. It's not even on the website. I want people in there faster. Help. What do I do? How can you take this over for me? How can you spread our name? Because this won't be the last location. How can we open the next one faster? How can we get more people to know us faster? How can we get more people to find us on the internet faster so I can bring in that other lead source? So if that's something you relate to, I'd be happy to chat with you. You can go check out our Patients on Demand system at ptwebsitesecrets.com/strategy. And you can check that out. See if that would be something that would literally free up the time and take some stuff off your plate so you can have your brain breaks. This is my challenge to you this week, is find out what's it going to take so that you have the time to be the CEO you need to be. So that you have the time to take a break from being the CEO so you can be a better one. All right. Contemplate on that. I'd love to hear if you want to write a review or comments what you do for your breaks or what you are going to strive to do. That'd be awesome. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if this has been helpful, and tell me in that. Like, what do you do for your breaks? Or what do you want to do and what do you need more capacity for? Or anything else you want to hear on the podcast. I love to read them and take them into heart. So I will talk to you guys after my time off. Have a good one.
Thanks so much for listening to Patients on Demand. Do you have a question that you'd like me to answer raw and uncut on the podcast? All you need to do is head over to Apple Podcasts and do 3 simple things. Leave a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want about getting new patients or growing your practice. And if you want a shout out, leave your Instagram and name. Then listen in to hear your questions answered live, raw and uncut. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode of Patients on Demand.